again, we are with Miguel, Dakota, and as you, the audience knows, you were actually on America's Got Talent last year.
I made it.
You did?
Yeah. It has been so surreal to make it this far in the competition, and it's just almost like a dream come true for me.
It's pretty crazy to be out there on stage. How am I going to compete with all these people?
I have 2 younger adopted siblings and 1 younger brother. We really have a tight bond.
Dominic, do you have your shoes?
Yeah.
Doing well in this competition means just trying to work as hard as I can.
Yes, yeah.
All right, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you actually got started in the music business and how your dream led you to all this.
Well, from about 11 years old when I got my first guitar, I started playing then and took lessons for a couple weeks and then just started teaching myself and started singing and writing music at about 13 years old. And just kept doing it, and I loved it, and started playing out at different places in high school just acoustically by myself, and kept doing that, and eventually went to college for a year at Tulane University in New Orleans.
Oh,
and
how come New Orleans?
Yeah, got a lot of exposure there to different styles of music, and then came back home and to Colorado, and was just trying to do the music thing and work and help out at home.
It seems like you guys had a certain camaraderie together last year. Was that true?
Yeah. I still talk with Sons of Serendip, with Micah and Kendall and all those guys, and
that's interesting. And I know you said you had never really dreamed of getting as far in the competition as you did. What were you hoping for?
Well, the entire time it was more about just getting as far as I could, doing my thing, and as far as that would take me, just going there and not trying to, beat anyone or win. Like, that was never my motivation, really. It was just to have that experience and continue to gain more and more exposure through the show.
Exactly. And I know when you walked out, like, all the girls went crazy and and everything.
Yeah.
Did you know during the time that you had, like, so many fans out there that were rooting for you? I mean, I could tell you can tell right when you walk on stage, everybody would go crazy every time. But, I mean, when you're in that situation, are you aware of really what's going on outside? Or are you just concentrating on what you need to do for the next show?
I was aware of it, and definitely the response that I would get, like, on my personal Facebook with my friends back home and families and people in my communities where I'd grown up, they were extremely supportive, and a lot of people reached out to me.
Oh, sure. And then, of course, you got to perform with Lenny Kravitz. That had to be an honor to do that.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was really incredible. He's an awesome guy, just super well-rounded, kind of does so many different things artistically and just in his career, and he's definitely someone that even before I liked Lenny Kravitz, but after performing with him, I liked him even more, so I researched him even more, and just his life and the things he's done, and so it was really cool to get to perform with someone who's reached such a level of success, but is very down to earth and very wise with the things that he does.
Now, I wanted to ask you, you said you started writing songs when you were about 11 or 13. What type of music were you interested in at that time that made you want to write music and get into it?
Well, my parents were definitely a big influence early on in my musical decisions and what I listened to, and kind of my upbringing was definitely a part of that experience of listening to music. So just like everyone, and my parents were very much into jazz and blues, and a lot of classic rock as well, and gospel music, and so all of those things kind of played into it. I was never really into pop music growing up, not much, and just I was more, I kind of had an old soul when it came to music, and listening to stuff from the 70s and 80s.
Was there any time that you thought, well, maybe there were so many obstacles that maybe music wasn't something that you wanted to pursue? Or how did you get over any obstacles that you may have come over?
I think there's always obstacles in anything that you want to do. And if you love it, there's even more, because you will reach a point at some stage where you have to make decisions if you really love it and if you're willing to sacrifice for it and work hard. So I think it's ongoing. There's a constant struggle, but I love it, and I know that I do, and I enjoy the process as much as I will reaching the end goal.
Yeah, and I think the struggle is all part of it, and it makes it that much better when you do, get to the point where you feel comfortable with. What is your process for writing? Do you have a process where you write with others, or do you prefer writing by yourself? Because I know you're with a band. Your band is called Miguel, Dakota, and The Difference. So you can tell us about that band also.
I do a little bit of both. So I have writing time where I just write by myself, play, and that's usually more personal songs, or more for the purpose of saying something that I want to say myself. And those are songs that I love and that I play myself when I play acoustically out and everything. And then when I'm with my band, we write together. We've started writing more collaboratively recently.
Okay.
And writing in practice, and a lot of it is based on the music first and then adding the words in. And that is still personal, but it's easier to write in a voice that is kind of for everyone and can be, I guess in a way, just brings more people together.
What's behind the song "Rely on You"? It's a really good song.
Is a song. I actually didn't write that song. I just performed on it.
Right.
Just sang on that song. But it's my friend Games. He's a producer and really talented guitar player here in Denver, and he had this song idea, and so we worked on it a little bit together, and it was just something fun that we wanted to do, and a single that we wanted to release.
How have you handled being a heartthrob? You have to admit.
I don't put too much thought into it.
No?
No, that's I guess it just comes with, being in an industry of any sort. You can get that response. And for me, I love music, and so that's what I focus on.
Yes.
But realize that I have that heartthrob thing, that whatever people want to say.
Right. What can you tell us about Miguel, Dakota, that fans may be surprised about? That they may not know about you.
Well, I guess that I don't know. That's a good question.
Do you have any hidden talents that we may not know about?
I guess I dance as well.
Do you?
Yeah. And I love sports in general. I still play soccer and basketball all the time.
What is next for you? What are you working on now?
Right now we're doing a lot of writing with the band, and we'll hopefully get in the studio soon here and put out a Miguel, Dakota, and the Difference record. And we're in the process of moving, hopefully, everyone up to Denver for practicing and writing purposes. This is Miguel, Dakota from Denver, Colorado, and you are listening to World Exposure with Share Dial.
Thank you so much, really, for taking the time. I really do appreciate it. And please keep in touch with all your new music, and we can post it on our websites.
Yeah,
I would love to do that if I could.
Awesome. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you, Miguel, and we will talk to you very soon.
Okay.
Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.
Stay put, more to come. World Exposure with Shared Dial. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Maravillas, and if you're looking to get fit and improve your health, it's as easy as 3 simple steps. 60% nutrition, 40% working out, and 100% commitment. That's Fit for Life. What makes Fit for Life different? We specialize in getting your metabolism higher, even when you're not working out. Through our scientific and time-tested techniques, we've integrated a 30-minute workout that gives you the benefit of multiple hour sessions.
Unlike other fitness studios, we combine strength training to tone, cardio to burn off fat from your stomach and hips, and nutrition planning and consulting to accelerate your results and make them permanent.
Hi, I'm Allison. I took the Fit for Life Challenge and lost 65 pounds.
And I'm Christy. I did too, and I lost 100 pounds.
I back my promise of unparalleled fitness with an unconditional 90-day money-back guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied with your results, you don't pay a dime. Call me today and get fit for life.
Welcome back to World Exposure with Shared Dial. Now it's time to rock the world with L.A. Nick.
LA Nick here. Today we're in downtown Fargo, North Dakota. You know, you might have seen the movie Fargo. You might have a perception in your head about what Fargo, North Dakota is, but it's nothing what you think it is. It's an awesome little town. Anybody who lives in the Midwest, it's a great weekend trip. We're right now at Vinyl Taco, downtown Fargo. It's a taco place that plays rock and roll. They got double DJ behind the bar. Awesome place. This whole town is really hip and really cool. It's nothing what you think Fargo would be. If you got time, come to Fargo for the weekend. We're going to show you some more in a minute. First and Broadway, downtown Fargo. Across the street is the Hotel Donaldson, otherwise known as the Hodo. It kind of is responsible for the city's thrive and the city rebuilding itself. It opened up in 2000. It's a really unique hotel space. It only has 17 rooms, and each room is inspired by a local artist, which is pretty cool. They have an awesome rooftop patio bar, and they have a bar restaurant downstairs that is also awesome, and have a lot of live entertainment. Great place to come on the weekends. Check it out if you're in Fargo. Right smack in the heart of downtown is the Fargo Theater, right here on Broadway. It's the center of arts in the city, and it's a great old theater, and now they have live performances there every night. Tonight's Johnny Winter. If you're not from North Dakota and not from Fargo, you probably won't know this exists. This is the Alley. It's a bunch of eclectic restaurants and bars hidden on this alley. It's a great place to check out. There's some really cool spots. Let's check it out. Hey, we're here at Dempsey's in downtown Fargo, right here on Broadway. Upstairs is a room called the Aquarium. Man, you wouldn't think this, but you know, this is just like some little office building type thing with a pub down here. But upstairs they have great shows. Black Flag's coming here next month. 4 to 4, which is actually a Minneapolis band. They're playing here. I've been here about a year ago, saw a full metal show upstairs with like 3 national metal bands. You know, Fargo's pretty rocking, man. Every bar and restaurant plays rock and roll still. It's kind of a dying art in America. Fargo's still rocking. You know, people have a big misconception of Fargo, North Dakota. You think you know Fargo? Let me show you Fargo. This is Fargo. This is Fargo.
This is Fargo!
This is Fargo.
This is Fargo!
This is Fargo.
This is Fargo!
This is Fargo.
This is Fargo.
This is Fargo. This is Fargo.
This is Fargo.
Fargo.
This is Fargo.
This is Fargo. This is Fargo. This is Fargo!
This is Fargo! Make sure you check out downtown Fargo. They got amazing food, great entertainment, and the nicest people you'll ever meet.
To have our special guest, Frank Palangi from upstate New York. And you are a metal rock and roller singer-songwriter with a unique bass voice. And you pour your heart and soul into your lyrics. And we are so happy to have you and Jared today on World Exposure with Cher Dial. Hi, Jared.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. And Frank, it is so good to see you again.
I know. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Well, I know I've been keeping up with you a lot over the years, and I know you're doing so great. So maybe we could get started. And could you go back a little bit to the beginning on when you knew that this is what you wanted to do for a living?
Sure. It was about 2009. I was working at a local YMCA, and I decided to quit my job and start to record a demo record. And I go, maybe I can do this for a living. But it really wasn't when I met the band Day of Fire at Upstate Concert Hall. It's Clifton Park, New York. They were on their last gig for their last tour, really forever, because they were disbanding. And I met them, and they're the ones that really gave me the chance to go to Tennessee and go to a big studio, and that from there kind of solidified that yes, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to pursue.
And so actually, in just 2009 is when you realized that's what were you doing up until that point?
Well, I knew after high school, 2006, because I made 3 demo records between 2006 and 9. But I was just kind of doing, I think, what everyone in the area does. They play out a little bit, getting to know how to record things, and just kind of getting to know music in general. So it's kind of like my growing years,
Sure. And then did you put a band together? Now, is this what part of Jared is with? Jared, did you join his band when?
No, I actually joined probably about 1.5 to 2 years ago. I had just moved back from Florida. I was originally from the area, and I was looking for a good music project to get into. And from everything that I saw from Frank, I really liked his music. I liked his songwriting style. I liked the heavy edge that it had to it, and you don't find a lot of quality hard rock musicians, especially in local markets around here. So I think it was a project that fit well for me.
Oh, sure. And Frank, we're going to hear you sing a little bit later on, but I think the one thing that is striking is that when you talk, your singing voice is so much different and more powerful, and so, like you said, edgy. Do you get that a lot? Like you open your mouth and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe!" Yeah.
Well, that's what because they're like, I'm kind of tall, skinny kid, and they're like, "Where's that voice come out of?"
I know, right?
But I don't really know where it's came out of. Maybe it's because as a kid, I used to play with a lot of action figures, and I used to make a lot of sound effects and stuff. So maybe my voice just kind of fell into a certain pattern with all those machine gun hits and stuff.
I know, because it's really unique and really different, and I know it's very enjoyable, and you're doing really great. How have things changed for you since we saw you last?
Quite a bit.
Right.
This year we had a pretty good stretch of opening for some national acts. We got to share the stage with Three Doors Down and Aaron Lewis, Trapped, Power Man 5000. a few other ones out there. And recently, I went down to Virginia to work with the guitarist from Daughtry on my next song called "Break These Chains." And that was an experience, in itself. It was pretty neat.
Now, did you, I was reading where you just casually met him at a meet and greet. So how do you meet somebody at a meet and greet? And then did you give him a CD or a card, and then you got in touch with them that way?
It was, it's, unless you pay for a meet and greet, I mean, it's pretty hard, I think, to meet these guys. But basically, it was a secret, like 60 people VIP acoustic set. They played a few songs, and I entered it, and I didn't win, but I told one of my fans, I go, just enter it. I go, if you want to go, just enter it. Maybe you'll win. And she won, and she ended up taking me along.
Oh, nice.
And, I just, I gave Chris Daughtry and Brian my music, and I mentioned, because I have a little bit of tie with Chris with the band Day of Fire, because Chris started, I don't know if it was before or after American Idol, but he opened up for Day of Fire, and they wrote some songs off their third record. And so I think he was surprised to be like, whoa, blast from the past type thing. But it was really talking with Brian afterwards. He was waiting outside for his limo to come up, and I talked to him for about 20 minutes. And he said, he produces artists and things. He's got a studio, and sometimes, they take on people and this and that. And so I go, well, maybe we could do something. And I think he knew that I meant business too. Like I just wasn't talking his ear off. So
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, here's my CD,
Yeah.
But I mean, you have a name behind you. I mean, it's like I said, you've grown even so much since we talked last time, and I'm just really excited for all your success. And you also started a Indiegogo fund.
I did, yeah. At the time, ranged. I think it was like 2 months or so. I raised about $1,000 out of the $3,000 goal. I've raised a little bit more since then, but definitely helps. All this stuff is it's not cheap, and it definitely takes, like, every little thing. I don't think people really know, but what goes into it and how much it costs, and
exactly
these little costs that add up, and it's tough, because I make a living just off my music. Jared plays with me, but he also has a job, and so it's tough, just kind of like living on a single income from your music. It's weird.
Right. We're with Frank Palangi and Jared, and from upstate New York, and we are going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hair trends, hair transformation, and hair tranquility begin at Hair Trinity. Hair Trinity Salon, located in New Brighton, offers you elegant, sophisticated, and business stylings to crazy, sexy, cool. Provided by certified stylists that help you create your own style in your image, because one style doesn't fit all. Affordably priced for all hair and types. Hair Trinity Salon, located at 1437 Silver Lake Road in New Brighton.
We're back, and now more World Exposure with Share Dial.
Still trying to reach me. You're not there till I feel I care. Our chords were broken, always sounding flat. Playing that same song, gone all wrong. Is there any way maybe I'll change? Don't you forget what I said. Every single day I see right through you. Wanted to believe, but never came true. Don't look back to me, pretending to see the same old person.
Now, what about out of all the hats that you wear? I know you produce, you sing, you're the songwriter, you're a musician. Which one do you hold the closest to your heart?
I like more of recording, being a recording artist. I guess creating, composing, that type of stuff. It's the stuff that goes on in the studio. That's where if I had to do one thing, it would be that. You know, I mean, I love to play out, but I like the studio stuff better.
Yeah, and you were talking earlier about playing with the band, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about the band, how many are in there, and a little bit about the band.
Well, it's never really a band. I mean, I am a solo artist, but I play with like tons of different people. Like even with Jared, we've played with probably 4 different drummers, a couple bass players. Right now, it's just me and him. We're trying to find a drummer, we're trying to find a bass player, but at a time, I had 2 versions of a full band, and it only lasted so long. The kids, they were younger, and I was older, a little bit older, and I'm like, well, good kids, but I want to try to find some people more mature, or
right, exactly.
Or musically. There's one guy musically, it just didn't quite work.
Oh, I'm sure you got to go through a lot of people. Before you can find somebody that you click with.
We auditioned 15 drummers last year and only one.
We are ready for the exclusive here on World Exposure with Cher Dial. Frank Palangi and Jared with Break These Chains.
Check, check.
Can you break away these chains that hold you down? Skin and bone can't save the pain that's left now. Your only hope is within yourself. Now it's time to face yourself. You can break all these chains. Face yourself, it's your darkest day. Come towards the light and break these chains. You can try to fight every little thing that went wrong. Yes, you try your drag back in. Break away. You can break all these chains. Face yourself, it's your darkest day. Crawl towards the light and break these chains. It's undecided the fate you will make. Down, down, and win. You gotta break, you gotta break, you gotta break. You gotta break, you gotta break, you gotta break. chains that hold you down.
Oh, nice. Frank Palangi with Break These Chains exclusive. So what shows are coming up next that you can tell the fans about, and where can they find all your great music?
You head over to frankpalangi.com. I've got all my music videos, show dates, all that kind of stuff around. Mostly it's local dates right now. No opening for national stuff as of right now, as of yet. But just some local stuff, because I was really focused on recording this new song, so I wasn't taking on a lot right now. But a few gigs here in upstate New York. But I'm always looking to book more stuff. So anybody interested in booking us, we'll play anything. So
I'd love to see you in Minneapolis for sure. For sure.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much, Frank. Like I said, I always follow you. I have been for years, and I'm just so happy for all your success and everything you're doing. And I'm going to get that ringtone for sure. That's exciting. I know, it's exciting, I love that. And Jared, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I had a good time.
Yeah, and like I said, it's always a pleasure, and thank you so much for joining us again today on World Exposure with Cher Dial.
Thank you so much for having us. Hopefully we'll be back and play some new tunes here sometime.
I know. It sounded great. It sounded really good, so I really appreciate you singing that song for us.
This is Frank Palangi here from upstate New York. You're listening to World Exposure with Cher Dial. Rock on.